Okay, now we are going to study about the activity 1.3 from our chemical reactions chapter. What is activity 1.3? Take a few zinc granules in a conical flask or a test tube. Taking a few zinc granules in conical flask or a test tube. Add dilute hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid with this. So zinc granules plus dilute hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid, HCl or H2SO4. Handle the acid with care. Always care must be given while handling acids. Do you observe anything happening around the zinc granules? Touch the conical flask or test tube. Is there any change in its temperature? Let's study about this experiment. Okay, it's a simple concept. When zinc reacts with acid, it produces hydrogen gas and releases heat. Okay, simple. Metal plus acid gives salt plus hydrogen gas. So whenever metals react with the acids, zinc is a metal and acid, we have said that HCl or H2SO4. So when metals combines with acid, we get a salt and hydrogen gas. Aim of the activity: to study the reaction between zinc and dilute acid and observe gas evolution and temperature change. The materials required are zinc granules, dilute HCl or dilute H2SO4, test tube, conical flask, dropper, matchstick for testing gas. Procedure: take a few zinc granules in a test tube, add dilute HCl or H2SO4 using a dropper. Observe carefully what happens near zinc. Touch the test tube gently. Test the gas with a burning matchstick. So we said that we are taking metal, that is zinc, in a conical flask or test tube. Then we are adding dilute HCl or H2SO4 using a dropper. The reaction taking place produces which gas? Hydrogen gas and salt also. Salt will be zinc chloride or zinc sulfate based on the acid. Observation: bubbles of gas are formed, that is effervescence is formed. Gas burns with a pop sound, that is hydrogen gas. Test tube becomes warm. The bottom of the test tube becomes very warm. Therefore temperature increases. Due to this temperature production or heat releasing, temperature increases and therefore there will be warm. Chemical equation: if using sulfuric acid, Zn plus H2SO4 gives ZnSO4 plus H2. Okay, if using hydrochloric acid, Zn plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus hydrogen. This hydrogen is the gas, or this hydrogen forms with which sound? Pop sound. Scientific explanation. Core part: zinc is a reactive metal. It displaces hydrogen from acid. This forms a salt, ZnSO4 or ZnCl2, and hydrogen gas. The reaction releases heat. Therefore, it is an exothermic reaction. In activity 1.2 also we have said that it is an exothermic reaction because we there studied about PbNO3 plus lead iodide. Potassium iodide plus lead nitrate, that gives potassium iodide plus lead nitrate gives lead iodide plus potassium nitrate. In that reaction also it was an example for a double displacement reaction, also a precipitation reaction. We have studied about this exothermic reaction in the first experiment, that is magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide reaction. There heat was released together with the formation of magnesium oxide. The bubbles seen are due to hydrogen gas evolution. Zinc reacts with dilute acid to produce hydrogen gas and heat, proving it is a chemical reaction. Type of reaction or concept: displacement reaction. Zinc displaces hydrogen, therefore it is called as a displacement reaction. Exothermic reaction, because heat is released. Gas evolution reaction. You can also say that it is an example for gas evolution reaction due to the formation of gas, that is hydrogen. Now we can see a colorful diagram here. Here we can see zinc granules and dilute hydrochloric acid. This is a conical flask, and here hydrogen gas is formed, and we can see the evolution of hydrogen gas with a pop sound here. Burning of hydrogen gas with a pop sound. That's why we are using matchsticks. When we bring matchstick near to this gas, it produces a pop gas. I think so. Draw a test tube, show zinc granules at bottom, add acid solution, draw bubbles rising, label zinc acid hydrogen gas, show burning matchstick pop stick. Here we can see hydrogen gas bubbles are formed, and by using a delivery tube we connect this hydrogen gas to a soap solution. I think when there is soap and hydrogen gas combines together, it produces soap bubbles with hydrogen. So when we bring a candle or matchstick near to this bubbles, it burns, because burning of hydrogen gas occurs with a pop sound. Now some of the board exam questions we are seeing, not questions, explanations. Zinc granules are taken in a test tube and dilute hydrochloric acid is added. Effervescence is observed and hydrogen gas is evolved, which burns with a pop sound. The test tube becomes warm, indicating an exothermic reaction. The chemical equation is Zn plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus H2. Conclusion: zinc displaces hydrogen from acid, forming salt and hydrogen gas. Therefore, this is a displacement reaction, and since heat is produced, it is an example for exothermic reaction also. Keywords for full marks: effervescence, hydrogen gas, pop sound, displacement reaction, exothermic reaction, zinc plus acid gives salt plus hydrogen. And the common mistakes to avoid are writing oxygen instead of hydrogen gas, forgetting balanced equation, not mentioning temperature change, and missing the word displacement reaction. So when this activity is asked in the exam, what should be right? First, you should know that the equation for this is Zn plus HCl gives Zn Cl2 plus H2. Since H2 is there are two atoms of hydrogen, and chlorine also, two chlorides are there. Therefore, we should balance the equation by 2HCl. So Zn plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus H2. That is a balanced chemical equation, and it is an example for displacement reaction. Also, it is an example for exothermic reaction, since heat is released. And why it is called a displacement reaction? Because zinc displaces chlorine from HCl. Since it is called a displacement reaction. And this hydrogen burns with a pop sound. That is very important. The hydrogen burns with which sound? Pop sound. What happens when zinc reacts with the dilute acid? When zinc reacts with the dilute acid, that is, when metals react with the acids, hydrogen gas is produced along with the salt. This will be an example for displacement reaction. Also, it will be an example for exothermic reaction. The reaction is exothermous and hydrogen burns with a pop sound. Write the balanced equation. Zn plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus H2. Identify the type of reaction: displacement reaction and exothermic reaction. Quick revision goals. Zinc plus acid gives salt plus hydrogen. Hydrogen gas will produce a pop sound. Heat released is exothermic. Type of reaction is displacement reaction, and bubbles will produce gas evolution. If you want, I can make a super short one-page revision sheet or exam diagram you can memorize in 10 seconds. Okay. Wait, let's give you super short one-page revision. 1.3, 30-second revision sheet. Metal plus acid gives, come on, in comment box. I want the answer in comment box. Metal plus acid gives, yes, salt plus hydrogen plus heat is released. Since heat is released, it is called as which reaction? Okay, Hydrogen burns with which sound? Come on, I need answers in the comment box. Key equation is Zn plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus hydrogen. What do you see? Bubbles is an example of hydrogen gas. Pops on gas confirmed. Test tube bomb. That shows it is an exothermic reaction. Type of reaction: displacement reaction, exothermic reaction. Zinc reacts with the dilute acid to form salt and hydrogen gas with evolution of heat. This is an example for displacement reaction. The diagrams we have seen earlier. So be no need of this mnemonics when exam had no needed. Okay. So the balanced chemical equation is zinc plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus hydrogen, H2 plus heat. Heat is released since it is an exothermic reaction. Hydrogen burns with a pop sound.